Turning our attention right now to how Senate Republicans have unveiled their version of President Trump's legislative agenda known as the One Big Beautiful Bill. The Senate Finance Committee released the sweeping proposal this week, putting their own stamp on a package the House passed just a few weeks ago. Erie News Now Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon will be joining us to break it all down this evening. Brendan, are you there?
Hey there, Eva. Good evening to you. There are really some key changes in this Senate version of the reconciliation bill compared to the House version. One of the major differences is that it preserves some clean energy tax credits, but slowly phases out others more gradually. Now, in order to pay to kind of offset the cost for that slower phase out, the Senate version calls for steeper cuts to Medicaid than the House plan does. It calls for expanded work requirements, not just for childless adults as the House proposed, but also for many parents receiving Medicaid whose children are older. The Senate bill proposes a lower cap on state and local tax or SALT deductions than the House's version does. That could create challenges once the bill heads back to the House for final approval. A higher SALT deduction cap is a major issue for many moderate House Republicans in blue states like New York. The Senate's version, however, does make several business tax breaks and the expanded child tax credit permanent. It would prevent a more than $4 trillion tax hike by making the 2017 Trump tax cuts permanent as well. Republicans say it would deliver additional tax relief to middle-class families who they say are still recovering from record inflation under the Biden administration. But Democrats are already slamming the proposal this week.
The Medicaid cuts are deeper, reach further. More hospitals will close, especially rural hospitals.
The deeper Medicaid cuts and the impact on hospitals.
Absolutely could never vote in supporting cutting Medicaid. Can't imagine why you would make those cuts, just for tax cuts for the hyper wealthy.
We believe that making permanent a lot of the business tax provisions will lead to that growth in the economy that will create those better paying jobs and lead to a stronger and a more prosperous country.
And Eva, Senate Majority Leader John Thune did say today that the bill also contains some of those more popular tax provisions that President Trump did campaign on, like no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, as well as tax relief for seniors. The bill does, however, include a $5 trillion increase to the nation's debt ceiling, and that is really a big red flag for a lot of those fiscal hawks here on Capitol Hill, especially in the Senate. Republican leaders are hoping to get the bill passed sometime next week and send it over to the House to try to get everything wrapped up, sent to President Trump but by July 4th. But some sources both in the House and Senate tell me that they're a little skeptical and calling that a very ambitious timeline. Reporting live on Capitol Hill for Erie News Now, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Eva, back to you.
Brendan, thank you for that break.